We rarely question the bag we carry. It's part of our daily rhythm: grab, go, repeat. Maybe it matches our shoes, maybe it was a gift, maybe we've just gotten used to it. But what if this quiet companion, the very item you take with you into meetings, markets, airports, and waiting rooms, is quietly working against you? What if the color of your handbag is not just a fashion choice, but an energetic barrier that's been silently blocking the flow of money, ease, and momentum in your life? In energy work, every color carries a vibration. That vibration either resonates with your personal energy or pushes against it. And your bag, worn close to your body and carried with you through everyday life, becomes more than just a container for your phone, wallet, or keys. It becomes an energetic signal, a magnet, or a repellent for wealth. So if money seems to come in but never stays, if you're doing everything right but still feel like luck skips over you, the color of your bag could be the quiet culprit. This isn't about superstition or style. It's about frequency, alignment, and how even the most overlooked details, like the shade of something you carry every single day, can shape your experience with abundance. For years, women have been told to dress for success. But no one told us that the color of our bag could be draining our confidence, scattering our focus, or even disrupting our ability to receive. Today, we're going to expose the subtle way your handbag might be sabotaging your wealth energy, and more importantly, what to carry instead. Because when your bag aligns with your personal energy field, something incredible begins to shift. Money flows with less friction, opportunities arrive more naturally, and that constant feeling of pushing upstream, it begins to dissolve. Part 1. Color is not style, it's frequency in disguise. You've probably chosen a handbag before based on what looked good, what felt timeless, or what was on sale. Maybe you picked one that matched your coat or a shade you felt confident wearing. But here's a truth most people never hear. Color isn't just visual, it's vibrational. And when it comes to the items you carry every day, especially something as intimate and constant as your handbag, that vibration becomes a direct part of your energy field. Color in this context is not about style. It's frequency in disguise. Every shade emits a specific vibrational signal. Whether you can see it or not, that signal interacts with the energy of your body, your emotions, your decisions, and even your finances. When you carry a bag in a color that harmonizes with your personal energy, things feel smoother. You find yourself thinking more clearly, making better choices, and attracting the kind of experiences and people who lift you up. But when the color clashes with your energy, you may feel off, anxious for no reason, forgetful, drained, or strangely unlucky. You might even find that money seems to slip away without explanation. It's not magic, it's misalignment. And here's the real issue. Most people don't choose their bag color with any awareness of energy at all. We're conditioned to see color as fashion, a trend, a seasonal rotation. But ancient spiritual traditions and increasingly modern energy science agree on one thing: color affects matter. It changes perception, it influences emotion, it even affects how we are perceived by others. Think about it. Would you wear neon orange to a job interview? Would you carry a glittery gold bag into a funeral home? Of course not. Your instincts already know that color sets a tone. Now take that understanding deeper. What if color doesn't just reflect mood, but actively shapes it? Your handbag is not a passive object. You take it into conversations where money is discussed. You set it down next to you at the doctor's office, in boardrooms, on dates, in coffee shops. It absorbs the emotional residue of those moments and transmits a signal outward constantly. That signal can say, I'm clear, calm, and open to receive. Or it can say, I'm scattered, ungrounded, or blocked, and the universe responds accordingly. This is especially relevant for women over 55. At this stage of life, you've likely carried hundreds of bags, made thousands of decisions, and navigated more than your share of financial seasons. Maybe you're downsizing. Maybe you're rebuilding. Maybe you're finally focusing on your own joy. But one thing is universal. You deserve for life to feel easier, more supportive, more aligned. And changing the color of your everyday bag, something so small, yet so energetically present, could be one of the simplest ways to shift the energy around you. Let's ground this with an example. Imagine two women. One carries a black leather bag, sleek, serious, classic. The other carries a soft sage green bag, earthy, calm, restorative. They walk into the same room, sit at the same table, and hold the same job title. But their energy reads differently. Black emits control, mystery, and detachment. Green sends a frequency of growth, openness, and balance. Neither is good or bad in itself. But depending on your own personal energy blueprint, one of these colors might amplify your power, while the other slowly depletes it. If you're someone who often feels misunderstood, overlooked, or out of sync, don't start by overhauling your entire life. Start with what's right next to you. The bag you carry holds more than your belongings. It holds your energetic imprint. And if you've never considered that before, now is the time to start. This awareness is not about fear or superstition. It's about alignment, self-respect, knowing that you deserve to move through the world in harmony with what you truly want. Have you ever noticed that some days just seem off? Money slips through your fingers, interactions feel strained, your confidence takes a hit, and you can't trace it back to anything specific. Those are the days to pause and ask, what am I carrying with me energetically? Is my bag a mirror of calm, focus, and prosperity? Or is it a mismatch, no matter how good it looks in the mirror? Color is silent but not subtle. Over time, it accumulates. It either supports you or subtly resists you. The good news? You're in control. You can choose a color that restores, supports, and aligns with your next chapter. A color that holds the kind of energy you want more of: ease, clarity, abundance, peace. So the next time you reach for a bag, don't ask, does this match my outfit? Ask, does this match my frequency? Because when it does, everything else begins to fall into place. You feel grounded, magnetic, unapologetically aligned. And that's when wealth, true wealth, not just money, begins to follow you quietly and naturally wherever you go. Part 2, White Bags, Pure or Depleting. The truth for non-metal types. White has long been associated with purity, clarity, and simplicity. In home design, it brings light. In fashion, it signals elegance. In psychology, it's often linked to freshness, even renewal. So it's no surprise that many women are naturally drawn to white handbags. A white bag feels clean. It feels neutral. It gives the impression that everything is in order. But energetically, white is far from neutral. In fact, for certain individuals, especially those not aligned with the metal element, it can quietly drain energy, create tension, and block abundance without ever raising suspicion. Let's start with the essence of white in energetic terms. In the language of elemental energy, white represents the metal element. Metal is about focus, structure, clarity, and strength. It sharpens decisions. It holds boundaries. It excels in logic, planning, and detail. If you are someone whose energy naturally resonates with metal, someone who thrives in clear systems, values order, and finds comfort in minimalism, white will likely support your energy beautifully. Carrying a white bag for you will feel clean and energizing, like walking through a perfectly organized space. But here's where the hidden imbalance begins. If your natural energy does not align with metal, if you are more emotionally fluid, intuitive, nurturing, or creative, then white may feel subtly off. Not at first, not on the surface, but over time, carrying a white or pale-toned bag can begin to create energetic tension. You may start to feel emotionally rigid, overcritical, or strangely disconnected from your instincts. Tasks that used to flow easily now feel forced. You might find yourself hesitating more, second-guessing decisions, or needing more recovery time after social interaction or work. This isn't about superstition, it's about vibration. When the frequency of the color you carry every day clashes with your own, the effects aren't explosive. They're gradual, subtle, but powerful. Think of it like wearing a pair of shoes half a size too small. You can walk, you can function. But by the end of the day, your whole body feels tired, your movements are strained, and you may not even realize that the discomfort began from your feet up. The same is true for energy misalignment. If you're someone with wood, fire, or water energy, elements associated with growth, expression, flow, or transformation, white can suppress those natural qualities. Your creativity may feel dulled. Your emotional warmth might be replaced with detachment. Even your ability to manifest wealth and opportunities can become foggy, inconsistent, or blocked. A common sign of this imbalance is emotional fatigue without cause. You might find yourself saying things like, "I'm just tired for no reason," or "everything feels kind of flat lately." You might also notice that you're more reactive, shorter temper, less patience, or that you're overly fixated on perfection, trying to get everything right, even when it doesn't truly matter. That's metal energy overtaking your own, trying to impose order where your spirit needs fluidity. Now let's go deeper into the financial layer. Money is not just logic, it's emotional. It responds to energy. And when your dominant energy is stifled, your ability to attract and hold wealth is impacted. For example, if your natural energy is wood, centered on growth, vision, and flexibility, but you're consistently carrying a white metal bag, that metal is cutting into your growth cycle. You might experience moments of forward movement followed by sudden stagnation, like you're being trimmed just as you begin to rise. For fire types, white can cool your flame. Your charisma dims, your confidence wavers. And people may stop responding to you the way they used to without you understanding why. This doesn't mean white bags are bad. For the right person, they're incredibly powerful. But for others, they act like emotional bleach, scrubbing away nuance, dulling color, and leaving behind something sterile, disconnected, and overly controlled. And that's not how abundance flows. Abundance is alive. It's warm. It's relational. It doesn't thrive in cold clarity alone. Here's a simple way to check if your white or pale-toned bag is supporting or suppressing your energy. Think about how you feel while carrying it. Do you feel more confident, spacious, and clear? Or do you feel invisible, stiff, or overly proper? Do conversations flow more easily? Or do you find yourself retreating, watching, analyzing instead of participating? Is money moving or has it slowed? Another sign is your personal environment. If you've been carrying a white bag consistently and your home has started to feel too quiet, too organized, or lacking vitality, it may be a signal. Energy is never isolated. What you carry affects what you attract, what you tolerate, and how you're perceived, even by yourself. And it's not just about what others see. It's what the bag says to you every time you touch it. A white bag may whisper, "Stay safe, stay clean, stay small." If you're in a chapter of life where expansion is needed, Emotionally, financially, creatively, those messages may be the very thing holding you back. So what's the solution? Awareness. You don't need to toss out your favorite white purse today, but you can start observing. When you wear it, what shifts? How does your body feel? How do your thoughts move? What do your days look like afterward? You might try switching to a tone that supports your natural energy. Something warmer, earthier, or more vibrant depending on your type. You might bring in a complementary color through a charm, scarf, or wallet to soften the imbalance. Or you may simply choose to rest your white bag during times when you need your full creative or emotional power available to you. In the end, your bag isn't just about function or fashion. It's an energetic mirror. And white, while beautiful, is not always supportive. For non-metal types, it can be a quiet drain on intuition, energy, and even financial flow. The choice is always yours. But now, that choice can be made with clarity, intention, and deeper connection to who you are, and the energy you want to walk with. Part 3. Green bags. Refreshing to some, but an energy leak for earth types. Green is often the color we associate with freshness, life, and renewal. It's the color of spring leaves, morning walks, healthy habits, and new beginnings. So it's no surprise that many people, especially women entering a new season of clarity and calm, feel drawn to green handbags. They feel grounding, peaceful, and hopeful. But if you are someone whose personal energy is aligned with the earth element, that refreshing green may actually be doing more harm than good. It might not be feeding your energy at all. It might be draining it. Let's start with what green actually represents. In energetic systems rooted in the 5 elements, green is the expression of the wood element. Wood is growth, movement, change. It stretches upward, it pushes out, it creates momentum. And while that sounds like a good thing, and often is, it becomes problematic when you pair it with an earth-based energy system. Why? Because in the energetic cycle, wood feeds on earth, literally. It draws from the ground to fuel its own expansion. In nature, a tree grows by pulling nutrients out of the soil beneath it. Over time, if not balanced, that same soil becomes depleted. And that's the exact energetic dynamic happening when someone with earth energy carries a green bag day after day. At first, everything seems fine, but over time, a slow depletion sets in. You may feel a little more tired than usual, a little more scattered. Your patience begins to wear thin. Projects don't land. You may find yourself giving more than you can replenish, emotionally, financially, even physically. You're still functioning, but something feels off. What used to feel steady now feels strained. Earth energy is about nourishment, stability, presence, and consistency. It's the I've got you energy, the calm center of the room. Earth types are the women who others rely on. The ones who hold space, keep things running, solve problems without drama. But that grounded strength only works when it's being refueled. And green, while beautiful, can act like a slow leak in the system. It pulls attention upward and outward, while earth energy needs to root inward and downward to stay balanced. If you've been carrying a green handbag and find yourself frequently tired, mentally foggy, or emotionally overextended, this might be more than coincidence. Maybe you've been generous with your time or money, but lately it feels like nothing is coming back. You might be struggling to set boundaries or feeling stretched too thin without understanding why. That's earth energy under stress, and green, as lovely as it looks, might be amplifying the imbalance. Many earth-aligned women choose green bags thinking they're safe, gentle, or neutral. But in energetic terms, green is anything but neutral. It's active, it's forward-moving, and it asks for fuel. If your earth energy is strong and well-supported, You might be able to carry green for a while without noticeable side effects. But if you're already in a season of stress, overwork, or financial uncertainty, green can silently pull your energy further out of alignment. This becomes especially critical in financial energy. Earth types tend to be slow builders. They accumulate wealth steadily, not in sudden bursts. But when their energy is drained, they often find themselves stuck in cycles of giving too much and receiving too little. You might be helping everyone else succeed while your own bank account barely grows, or feeling like no matter how much you do, things just don't stabilize. These are not character flaws, they're energy leaks. And your green handbag may be quietly contributing. It's important to note, this isn't about making green wrong. For wood types, green is highly beneficial. It nourishes, strengthens, expands. But that's not everyone. And part of living energetically aware is recognizing that what helps one person grow might be the very thing that makes another person wilt. So what do you do if you're an earth-aligned woman who owns a beautiful green bag? You don't need to throw it out or feel guilty, but it may be time to reassess how often you use it and how it makes you feel. Pay attention to the subtle changes. Do you feel energized or drained after a full day carrying it? Do you feel emotionally full or emotionally flat? Do you find yourself overgiving, overthinking, or financially off balance? If so, consider giving that bag a rest. Instead, look toward earth-supportive tones. Warm browns, soft yellows, beiges, and muted golds. These colors nourish earth energy. They bring a sense of grounded ease, emotional containment, and steady magnetism. A brown leather tote may not seem exciting, but energetically it gives you back what green may have been taking away. It says, I am centered, I am secure, I know how to hold what matters. And in a culture that constantly pushes us to do more, give more, and look effortlessly put together while doing it, sometimes the most radical act of self-care is choosing the color that helps you feel full, rather than one that asks you to be on all the time. If you're unsure of your dominant energy type, try this. Look back on times in your life when you felt most at ease, most yourself, most abundant. What colors were you wearing? What was around you? What environments made you feel grounded and calm? That's your baseline. Start there. And remember, your handbag is something you carry close to your body. It travels with you through your errands, your appointments, your stress, your joy. It absorbs, reflects, and transmits energy constantly. It can either be a companion that protects your vitality or one that slowly saps it. Green may be beautiful, even healing for some. But for earth types, it must be approached with awareness. Because when your energy is rooted, the whole world feels more stable. And when it's not, no color on the outside can fix what's been leaking from within. So the next time you reach for that pretty sage or olive tote, pause. Ask yourself not just does this look good, but does this feel good to carry? Because that feeling, subtle as it may be, is your energy trying to guide you home. Part 4, Black Bags, Sleek Power or Silent Suppression. Fire types, beware. There's something undeniably elegant about a black handbag. It's the universal go-to, sleek, sophisticated, effortless. It pairs with everything, moves through every season, and never draws too much attention to itself. For decades, black bags have been the symbol of good taste, polished, practical, quietly powerful. But beneath that timeless exterior, black carries an energetic weight. And for certain people, especially those whose personal energy is aligned with the fire element, carrying black can feel less like empowerment and more like slow, silent suppression. Let's begin with what black really represents in energetic terms. Black is the embodiment of the water element. It carries qualities like depth, mystery, introspection, and flow. Water energy is essential. It cools, calms, and contains. But when paired with fire, which is expressive, radiant, bold, and upward moving, the dynamic shifts dramatically. Water doesn't gently support fire, it douses it. It diminishes heat. And when your natural element is fire, being surrounded by water energy on a daily basis, even through something as simple as a handbag, can begin to quietly erode your vitality, clarity, and enthusiasm. You don't have to feel it immediately. In fact, the effects often build slowly. Fire-aligned women tend to be warm, passionate, naturally engaging. They light up rooms, inspire confidence, take initiative. But when they begin carrying too much water energy, especially in something as close and constant as a black bag, those traits may start to fade. You might feel more reserved than usual, less inspired. Your energy dips. Your drive starts to falter. You're still showing up, still doing the work, but something inside feels muted, like you're burning at half capacity. This is especially noticeable in your interactions. Fire energy thrives in connection. It's how fire women naturally attract opportunities, build relationships, and generate abundance, not just financially, but emotionally and spiritually. When that flame is dimmed, communication becomes harder. Confidence softens. You second-guess decisions. You may even feel invisible, even when you're doing everything right. All the usual tools, vision boards, affirmations, even hard work, suddenly stop working the way they used to. It's not because you've changed. It's because your energy is being quietly mismatched. Black is not inherently negative. In fact, for water types or metal types, black can be grounding and clarifying. It provides protection, privacy, and emotional spaciousness. But for fire types, who naturally need warmth, brightness, and connection, black becomes a cooling force, one that slowly turns a bold, creative soul into someone who feels uncertain, overlooked, or emotionally flat. And this energetic imbalance doesn't just affect your mood. It often shows up in your financial life, too. Fire energy is associated with vision, bold action, and leadership. It's what fuels momentum, initiates new ventures, and attracts aligned opportunities. But when fire is suppressed, risk feels scarier. Movement slows, fear creeps in, and money, like all energy, responds to that contraction. You may start to feel like opportunities dry up or disappear, even when you're working harder than ever. People may stop responding. Deals fall through. Creativity becomes labor. One of the most common experiences for fire-aligned women carrying black bags daily is what can only be described as emotional fog. Not depression exactly, not exhaustion, just disconnection. A sense that you're showing up but not being felt, that you're trying but the spark just won't catch. And it's so easy to blame yourself, to assume you're aging out, losing your edge, or just going through something. But what if it's not that deep? What if it's energetic? What if the very item sitting on your shoulder, pressed close to your body every day, is the thing dimming your flame? This is not about guilt. It's about permission to rethink the small choices we've long made out of habit. And for many women, the black bag is exactly that, a habit. It's easy, it works, it doesn't clash. But when life starts to feel dull, stagnant, or energetically tight, you have to look closer. You have to ask, what energy am I feeding myself every day with what I carry? And here's what's powerful: awareness alone can shift everything. You don't have to throw out your black bag tomorrow, but you can start noticing what happens when you use it. How do you feel during the day? What happens in your conversations? Do you feel energized after using it, or depleted? Does your voice feel strong, or do you shrink back a little more than usual? You can also begin experimenting with alternatives. Fire-supporting colors include red, pink, and purple. each with its own energetic tone. Red fuels bold action. Pink nurtures confidence and compassion. Purple invites intuitive power and deep insight. Even if you're not ready to carry a full red tote, you might try adding a red charm, a pink wallet, or a violet pouch inside your current bag to begin gently shifting the energy. These colors don't just decorate, they activate. They remind your fire energy of its natural rhythm and call it back. And if those colors feel too bold, start with neutrals that don't carry the same water weight. A warm beige, soft coral, or golden tan can offer a more supportive frequency while still feeling classic and easy to wear. The point isn't to make a dramatic change overnight. It's to reclaim your energy by being intentional with what holds it. Your handbag is more than a vessel. It's an energetic companion. And for fire types, black can be a silent extinguisher. It dims not just your light, but your joy, your clarity, your power. You deserve to burn bright, to feel yourself fully, to live in alignment with who you truly are. If something as simple as color can help bring that back, isn't it worth paying attention? Because the truth is, you were never meant to shrink into silence. You were made to light the way. And that begins, perhaps surprisingly, with what you choose to carry every day. Part 5, Red Bags, the most misunderstood lucky color. Red is magnetic. It's bold, unforgettable, and emotionally charged. When you carry a red handbag, you carry attention. It turns heads. It energizes an outfit. It announces itself in a room even when you don't speak. For generations, red has been seen as a symbol of prosperity, celebration, and confidence. In many traditions and cultures, it's associated with luck, strength, and passion. And for good reason, red is powerful. But what few people realize is that red is not universally lucky. In fact, for some, it can quietly stir imbalance, inflame emotion, and even disrupt the energy of wealth. Let's look at what red really is energetically. Red represents the fire element. It burns bright. It fuels motion, desire, creation, action. When you align naturally with fire energy, red is a perfect amplifier. It strengthens your courage, sharpens your instincts, and increases your natural magnetism. Carrying a red bag in that state can feel like adding rocket fuel to your confidence. You walk taller, speak more clearly, and people notice you and respond. But if your personal energy is not fire-aligned, especially if it's rooted in metal or water, red can create the exact opposite effect. Instead of fueling your confidence, it overstimulates your system. Instead of drawing abundance, it may trigger overwhelm, emotional fatigue, or reactive spending. The problem isn't the color itself, it's the frequency mismatch. Red, by its nature, is activating. It speeds things up. It attracts heat and attention. If your inner energy is already calm, detail-oriented, or fluid, qualities often found in metal or water types, carrying a red bag every day can begin to short-circuit your balance. You may find yourself rushing through decisions, losing patience, or feeling emotionally agitated without clear cause. Some women even report impulsive purchases, arguments, or tech mishaps that seem to come out of nowhere, and wonder why chaos keeps following them. The red bag might be the amplifier. This dynamic plays out most clearly in your financial energy. If you've been carrying a red bag and noticed that money comes in but flows out just as fast, or that you attract exciting opportunities but struggle to hold on to them, your fire energy may be too active. This can be especially frustrating for metal types, who usually prefer structure, logic, and predictability. When fire dominates metal, decisions feel rushed. Logic gets overridden by emotion. You may go with your gut too quickly, only to regret it later. For water types who value intuition, calm, and quiet momentum, fire can feel like constant pressure. You may start to feel reactive instead of responsive, unfocused instead of fluid. And money, like energy, doesn't like instability. It responds to clarity and flow. Here's the subtle irony. Many women turn to red bags because they feel stuck, tired, or invisible. Red feels like the boost, the bold move, the call to rise. And for short bursts, special events, powerful meetings, or days when you need to reclaim your voice, it absolutely can work. But when red becomes your daily companion, carried through mundane errands, emotional triggers, or delicate moments, its power can turn volatile. It's like drinking espresso every hour. You feel alive, but you burn out. So how do you know if your red bag is truly lucky for you? Start by asking, how do I feel when I carry it? Energized, clear, and centered. Or a little bit wired, impatient, or emotionally on edge? What happens to your spending patterns, your conversations, your sense of timing? Do you feel more visible in a way that builds confidence, or in a way that feels exposed? Does the red help you stand in your power? Or do you find yourself defending, justifying, explaining more than usual? If you're unsure of your dominant energy type, notice patterns over time. When you carry red for several days in a row, do you feel more successful or more scattered? Does money stay or does it slip away? Is your calendar filling with aligned opportunities or drama you didn't ask for? These are energetic clues, and your body is always giving you feedback, if you're willing to listen. And if you do find that red creates more agitation than alignment, it doesn't mean you can never wear or carry it. It just means you can use it more intentionally. Instead of making red your everyday go-to, reserve it for moments when fire energy is exactly what you need. Visibility, leadership, activation. Or consider using it in smaller ways. A red wallet, a charm, a scarf tied to the strap of a more balanced bag. That way you get the boost without the burnout. For those who want to soften red's intensity without giving up its presence, consider shades like rose, coral, or burgundy. These tones still carry the warmth of fire, but in a gentler, more grounded form. Rose brings a nurturing, feminine quality, ideal for enhancing relationships and softening assertiveness. Coral adds vitality without urgency. Burgundy deepens confidence and authority while keeping the energy steady. These shades often work beautifully for women navigating leadership, caregiving, or major life transitions, where strength needs to meet softness. It's also helpful to ground red with balancing accessories. A red bag paired with gold or brown accents can stabilize its energy. Using materials that feel soft or textured, like suede instead of patent leather, can help red feel less aggressive and more heart-centered. The goal isn't to suppress the fire, but to direct it, so it fuels what you want rather than burning through what you need. And remember, the color red holds cultural weight. It has been marketed to us as the symbol of strength, sex appeal, success. We're told to wear red to stand out, to paint the town red, to go bold or go home. But real power doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it sits quietly in a room and is still felt. Your energy doesn't need to be loud to be strong, and your bag doesn't need to be red to be lucky. True luck isn't about catching attention. It's about being in alignment. About walking into a space and knowing you belong, not because of what you carry, but because of how you carry yourself. And if your handbag can support that inner knowing, amplify your ease, your focus, your sense of enoughness, then that is the real lucky charm. So yes, red is powerful, but only when it's used with intention. Ask yourself not just, does red look good on me, but does it feel good with me? Because when your energy is aligned, luck doesn't need to be loud. It simply finds you, again and again wherever you go. Part 6. The neutral trap, gray and beige, safe but spiritually flat. There's something comforting about a neutral bag. Whether it's a soft gray crossbody or a beige leather tote, it whispers, "I'm easy." These shades pair well with everything. They don't demand attention. They project a calm, refined, effortlessly pulled-together image. And for many women, especially those who want their accessories to quietly blend in, gray and beige feel like the perfect choice. Safe, polished, timeless. But what if these very safe colors are silently dulling your energy? What if your go-to neutral isn't just hiding from the spotlight, but keeping you hidden from your full vitality? Let's begin with the energetic truth. No color is truly neutral. Every shade carries a vibration. In the five-element system of energy, gray is associated with metal, an energy of structure, logic, boundaries, and refinement. Beige, on the other hand, belongs to earth, offering stability, consistency, and nurturing calm. In balance, both colors can be incredibly supportive. But when they're overused, especially without regard to your personal energy type, they can create stagnation, emotional flatness, and even financial inertia. Here's how that plays out. Women who gravitate toward gray or beige often do so during seasons of uncertainty. These colors feel safe when life feels unpredictable. When you're navigating grief, change, transition, or decision fatigue, the last thing you want is more stimulation. Neutrals offer rest. They take one choice off your plate. But if you stay there too long, if your environment, wardrobe, and even your handbag live in a palette of soft grays and warm creams, you may begin to feel muted, like your voice is quieter, your energy dimmed, your drive softened into passivity. This shows up most clearly in how you interact with the world. You may start withdrawing just a little more, saying "I'm fine" when you're not, avoiding big conversations, hesitating on opportunities that used to excite you, not because you're weak, but because your energy has gone into hiding. Gray, in particular, carries an emotional chill. It can be elegant, yes, but it can also feel emotionally distant. Metal energy, when overapplied, creates sharpness without warmth. It can leave you overthinking, overanalyzing, and underfeeling. Beige, by contrast, can lull you into stillness. Earth energy is grounding, but when overemphasized, it becomes heavy. Beige can make everything feel like a waiting room, quiet, careful, slightly removed from color and life. You might feel unmotivated, uninspired, or stuck in routines that no longer serve you. The outside looks calm, but inside there's a slow erosion of purpose. If you've been carrying a gray or beige handbag for a long time, consider this. Has your energy shifted since you began? Are you less expressive, less creative, less visible in your own life? Do you find yourself playing it safe financially, saving just enough but never really growing? Or saying no to things you secretly want, simply because you don't feel ready or energized enough? These are not personality traits. They are energy responses, and your handbag might be echoing them back to you every single day. This doesn't mean gray or beige are wrong. In fact, for metal and earth-aligned women, these colors can feel like home. They support order, comfort, and emotional security. But for fire, water, or wood types, those with more expressive, intuitive, or expansive energy, these shades can suppress your natural rhythm. Fire needs stimulation, water needs flow, wood needs momentum. And a soft, neutral handbag, even a beautiful one, can feel like a gentle but constant pause button on your life force. So how do you tell if you've fallen into the neutral trap? Pay attention to your body, your reactions, your emotional tone. Do you feel energized when you carry your bag, or simply numb but functional? Do you look in the mirror and recognize the woman you see? Or does she look a little faded, a little quieter, a little too put together to feel alive? You might also notice what's not happening. Opportunities that feel just out of reach. Conversations that don't land. Invitations you no longer receive. Neutral tones can create energetic invisibility. They help you disappear just enough to feel safe, but also just enough to miss your next breakthrough. And yet, there's no need to abandon your beloved neutrals completely. The answer is intention. If you love gray, try pairing it with a small pop of energy, like a red wallet, a gold charm, or a bold keychain that brings warmth back into your frequency. If beige is your comfort zone, try adding movement through texture. Braided leather, natural fibers, or accessories with depth and contrast. You're not erasing your energy, you're reminding it to breathe. You can also rotate your bags seasonally or emotionally. Use gray when you need structure, beige when you need stillness. But don't forget to reintroduce color when your soul starts stirring again. A coral crossbody on a Tuesday, a teal pouch tucked inside. Even a scarf with vibrant lines tied to the strap can begin to shift the way you walk through the world. The goal is not to fix your bag, it's to awaken your awareness. To stop living on autopilot and start asking, does this item reflect where I'm going or where I've been hiding? Your handbag, after all, goes everywhere with you. Into conversations, into challenges, into transitions. It's more than a vessel, it's a vibrational partner. So the next time you reach for that soft, dependable gray or beige bag, pause, place your hand on it. Ask yourself, what energy am I carrying today, and what energy do I need? Because the safest choice isn't always the most supportive. And sometimes, the first step out of stagnation is simply choosing a color that makes your heart beat a little louder. You don't have to scream. You don't have to wear neon. You just have to stop disappearing. And that might start with something as simple as changing the energy you carry on your shoulder every day. Final, we often think of luck, wealth, and energy as things that happen to us. External forces we try to attract, chase, or hold onto. But the truth is quieter, more intimate. Energy begins within. And every object we choose, especially those we carry close, either supports that energy or disrupts it. Your handbag isn't just a place to store essentials. It's an extension of your energy field. It absorbs your emotions, holds your attention, and, through its color, interacts with the frequencies around you. Every shade carries a signal, and over time, that signal becomes a part of your story. You've now seen how something as simple as color can act as a subtle influence, shaping how you think, feel, and move through the world. White may bring clarity or create coldness. Green may inspire growth or quietly deplete you. Black might feel protective or heavy. Red can empower or overstimulate. Even the neutrals, so easy to overlook, can become mirrors of stagnation if we're not aware. There is no right or wrong color. There is only resonance. And resonance means listening, truly listening to your own energy, to how your body responds, to what your emotions reveal, to what your results are gently trying to tell you. So the next time you reach for your bag, pause. Not to question your style, but to ask, does this support who I am becoming? Or is it tied to a version of me I've already outgrown? In a world that moves fast, chooses fast, and rarely looks beneath the surface, this kind of attention is a quiet revolution. One that doesn't need to be loud to change everything. Because when you begin to align even the smallest things, what you carry, what you wear, what you allow, you send a signal to the universe. I am ready for ease. I am ready for flow. I am ready to receive without resistance. And the universe, always listening, begins to respond. Gently, naturally. One aligned color, one clear moment, one silent decision at a time.